So in one of my previous videos, I talked about the assumptions that non-actors make about actors, and I wanted to add a few more assumptions. So this video, there are even more assumptions that non-actors make about actors. Join me in just a sec. So let's try to dispel some of those myths. People learn you're an actor and they say, "What have I seen you in?" And the implication is that in order to be successful, you must have starred in a Hollywood blockbuster movie or been on Broadway or something like that. So when people ask me, "What have I seen you in?" I almost always say, likely nothing. Otherwise, you would tell me what you saw me in. So the assumption that you need to land an A-list Hollywood role or you aren't a success, it's the same thing as telling a city council person that they aren't a success because they aren't president of the United States. Most actors act in things that you will have never seen. All actors are beautiful and young, and that you can't be a successful actor because you aren't good looking enough or young enough. The truth is that all types and ages are represented in the pantheon of roles available out there in the world. And there are many successful actors out there who are not defined by society's standards of youth and beauty. So people think that if you're an actor, in order to be successful, you must have to make a lot of money. And often people ask me how much money I get paid for a show. I might say, $500. And they say, per week or per show? And I'm like, no, that's for the whole run. And their jaw hits the floor. We make crap money for most of the projects that we do out there. There's just so much competition out in the world that actors often have to settle for less. Now, that's not the way it should be in the world. We should make more money than that, but often we don't. Now, sometimes we make insane amounts of money for small little projects, but more often than not, we get paid very little. You often have to take projects to help you grow, or to make connections, or just because you plain want to play that role or work with that director. Because there's so much competition out there, actors usually get priced down instead of up. And if you want to make a lot of money, don't go into acting. Actors are lazy, or actors are crazy. These are kind of two sides of the same coin. The belief is that actors are lazy because they stay up late, they sleep in during the day, and they don't do a regular day job during the day, so they're lazy. And then the other side is that actors are crazy partiers who are always going out and having drinks and doing drugs at parties. Well, that part might be a little bit true in some cases. Parties and late nights are certainly the norm for younger casts. But we are not lazy. We work hard, we need stamina, and we need rest, and we stay healthy, and we exert a lot of mental and emotional and physical energy in our craft. The parties are a way to unwind, blow off steam, socialize. And it's the same thing as social gatherings at your work. If you go out for happy hour in an office job, it's the same damn thing. Now, we often do this stuff later at night because we're working shows at 11 o'clock at night. And so our cast parties are late at night. Now, just because we don't go to a 9-to-5 job during the day does not mean we are lazy, and it does not mean we are crazy. Actors can just choose their projects. That we can just choose to audition for whatever project comes along. It goes like this. Your friend hears that someone is making a movie version of their favorite book, and so they call you up and they say, "You should go audition for that. Tell your agent to submit you for that role." And it just doesn't work that way. Sure, self-tape submissions are available for many projects, but the big ones, the ones that you hear about in advance, usually have cast all their principal actors and all their secondary actors before they even announce the project openly to the public. And all the other roles are usually by agency submission only. And there are several gatekeepers along the way. Virtually the only way to get seen for these projects is to work your way into them by paying your dues and making connections, and by having an agent that submits you for those. Actors lead a glamorous life. The assumption is that shooting a film or doing a show is glamorous. But it's actually hard work, and sometimes it can be downright grueling, and it can challenge you to your very core. It's not for the faint of heart. Yes, it can be tremendously fun, but it's only glamorous when you're on the red carpet or at a opening night party. Most of the time, that is the exception to the rule. People think that memorizing the lines is the hardest part of doing a show. Memorization is a process that can take a lot of effort for a larger role. Sure, sometimes you spend weeks memorizing your lines for a project and just drilling them. But memorization is just the first step in creating a performance. First of all, you not only have to memorize your lines, you have to memorize your dance steps, your blocking, your music, your harmonies. You have to memorize your mark when you're on camera. You have to memorize your emotional beats and the levels of your emotions as you play the character. But that memorization is just the first part of the process. And there's so much more that comes into play after that. It's the work that comes afterwards that matters the most. So when you ask somebody, how did you memorize all those lines? You're really saying, all I saw was that you memorized a bunch of lines. They're telling you that they weren't really affected or drawn into the role, that what they were noticing is that you had a lot of lines. So don't ask that question. People think that actors are their characters, that we just are being ourselves in a role. But developing a character is a complex process that requires research, physicality, voice, accent, and emotional study. Though many characters we play seem like us, they usually differ from our personalities greatly from role to role. And when we are playing somebody that is close to us, it's often very vulnerable for us to do so because we don't have anything to escape into. So don't confuse an actor's performance for their personality. Don't think that because somebody plays a lech that they are a lech, or that if they play somebody nice that they are nice either. Actors are unintelligent and shouldn't have opinions in public. We've seen this on the Academy Award. Actors will fight for their cause or use their speech to talk about politics, and then a bunch of the demographic will say, you're just an actor, you shouldn't have an opinion on this, you don't count, you're unintelligent, you're stupid. Actors study human behavior. Actors research people. Actors learn more than the average person about a variety of topics in their research. So by walking in a character's shoes, actors explore different opinions, different mindsets, different attitudes. Actors are empathetic to the human experience, and actors travel around the world. They meet people in all facets of life. Therefore, actors are probably more able to speak about a number of topics and do so better than your average Joe. We are smart, we are educated, and we are well-rounded, and we are human beings, and our opinions have just as much value as anybody else's. Actors must have miserable lives. It's kind of the starving artist syndrome we're talking about here. I'm not saying that there aren't periods of doubt and poverty that go through an actor's life. You're always having to scramble for your next job. But overall, the careers of actors are very fun, very rewarding, and very connected to others. You are always learning, you're always changing and growing, and it rarely gets dull. You travel, you move from project to project to project, you meet famous people, you hobnob with bigwigs, and when you can't stand one project, you know that it will soon end and another one will come along. We aren't stuck in a long-term, dead-end job working for one employer for years at a time. We have options, and we can utilize our skills in a variety of different side jobs such as teaching, designing, producing, directing, and more. Many of these assumptions were responses from the actors in the Augmented Actor Facebook group. If you're an actor, you want to join that group, the link is on your screen and down in the description below. That's it. I'm going to let you go and get off the horn. Here's some videos to watch if you want to stick around a little longer. And I'll see you next time. Bye!